Hello everyone, and welcome to Lit Bashing, where the L stands for Legions, the I stands for Imperialis, and the Bashing stands for Kit Bashing. I think it's fair to say that this is the most interesting release we've had in a while. Not that the last release was bad, but it was all tanks. This time we've got a whole bunch of different stuff for a whole new army, or potentially armies, because I'm interested to see how the Dark Mechanicum works with the standard Mechanicum rules. So, we'll start with the models bit, because I expect that's what most of you want to see, because I know there have been some reports of damage to the sprues in the box, so I'm going to see. I haven't been particularly careful with this box. I went to pick it up from HLS Models in Erith, drove it back here. It was about 20 minutes, something like that, with it just in the back of my car rattling around. So if it survived that, then I think we're okay. If there are any chips or nicks, then that shows that perhaps it's something you should be careful of. The box is nice, usual artwork on the front. On the back, we've got all the different models in this sexy box. Although interesting, technically not all the different models, because we just have 4 times the Triaros. All the others have been very carefully, showing you every single model you get. So it's interesting that this one just shows 4 times this one. Maybe they didn't want to waste space on the back to show you all the other cool new stuff. But, I think maybe we could have had a couple of those. Sacrifice some of the infantry. Although it does all look good. It's good photography. It's a shame that lots of them are just doubled up. That's clearly just the same image doubled. That's clearly just the same image doubled. That's clearly the same image quadrupled. As is that one. I'm not expecting them, to paint every single one, but some of these are very obviously just copy-paste jobs. And it's a shame. It would be nice to see a variety of different poses, a variety of different placements on the base. Let's see how it looks inside. I don't know if this will be the case for the regular boxes, but this box doesn't have any paint suggestion on the back. Usually there's to paint them like this, you'll need this many different Games Workshop reds and this many different Games Workshop metals, and it doesn't. But I don't know if that's a common thing for the big boxes. It's not something I noticed last time. I might have to go back and watch my old videos to see if it was the case for those. So, inside our box, we have lots and lots of bases, lots and lots of 32mm bases. It's a shame we don't have more of those. Right then. Colour instructions, as have become the norm for the bigger boxes. It's nice having the colour instructions, even though it's just to separate which sprues are which. Standard Legions Imperialis fare of having 2 of each sprue. So each box would be a pair of those. There's the Mechanicum infantry. I wonder, I'll have to read the instructions to see whether, not the instructions, I'll have to read the rulebook to see if you can have the Archmagos on a base by himself, or whether he always has to be in his abeyant. In any case, that chain axe is very nice and will be nice for some rather larger World Eaters, Lit Bashes, if I can find enough of them. Tech Priest Auxilia, nice. Myrmidon Destructors, also nice. The Myrmidon, for those of you who can't be bothered to Wikipedia, were the bodyguard and or Fundheim pals of Achilles. So that's nice. The Thalax and Ursarax. I feel like you need to tap or roll your R's with this. Ardalax. Battle Automata. These are fun. I think these are the ones I don't think we've got in 28mm yet, so I expect that means we're going to see a plastic lot of this come soon. The Castellax Battle Automata. Looking forward to these Voltorax. Oh, they're big. They're on 32mm. I didn't realise they were quite so big. The Vorax, which I think are only available in resin in 28mm at the moment, so hopefully that means we've got plastic ones coming out. The Thanatar Siege Automata. Also on a 32mm. Lots of big models in this one. The only models on 32mm outside of this box are the Scimitar jet bikes and the Outriders, the kind of regular analog bikes, as it were. Interesting. So a lot more big bases coming for the Mechanicum. And of course the Triaros Squadron, which would be a lovely kit to kit bash into all the other tanks if we didn't know they were already coming because they put them in the background of photography in an article. Good instructions, no immediate errors coming to mind, but I'm sure people on Reddit will highlight any that are. Yeah, lots of nice 32mm bases. Lots of nice 25mm bases, the ones you'll know and love. And on to the models. So, 2 identical sprues. I was told these are the ones that might break. Those ones aren't. The Voltorax are solidly not broken at the moment. And those are the ones I was told were the risky ones. I don't think any of these are broken either, which are the other risky ones. They look even more detailed than the last lot. Yeah, 2024, so they are a very new sculpt. It's not something they've been sitting on for a while. But that is some incredible detail. Good job, sculptors. I know it's slightly easier to sculpt mechanical for plastic than it is biological, but even still, very solid. I'm hoping the infantry are going to be very solid and we're going to need a lot of them because I want a lot of Voltorax, but it looks like you only get 1 per sprue. Let's just check the other sprue for the damage. No damage there either. And again, I wasn't gentle with this. I just kind of chucked it in the back of the car, drove around normally. But nothing seems to have broken on this sprue, and I was told this would be the more delicate one. I'm going to have to experiment to see what is the ideal order to clip off all of these sprue nubs. But yeah, generally speaking, very solid. Next one. This is the... Oh, these are the Thanatars, these are the big boys. So it looks like we've got 4 per sprue, which is nice. I mean, these are big chunky models with lots and lots of little bits, and you can get 4 per sprue. Take note of that, Games Workshop, when it comes to drop pods. Let's just look at one because they're both the same. There's no little fiddly bits on this that I can see, so nothing that's at risk of breaking. Those magazines / ammo belts are very thick. They're not going anywhere. So I don't think there's anything to risk here. Just a very, very solid robot. Nice. I don't know how posable the legs are. I've heard mixed reviews. I will be giving them a go and seeing how many different poses I can get out of them. And I'll report back to you when I've had the chance. But yeah, I'm looking forward to building me some robots. This is the other... Oh no, this is the infantry one. Ooh. So what was the other one? Was that all automata? It is, it's all automata. So there we go. I hope the other automata's good, so I can get more Voltorax. I do like these little servos here. They're very cute. Big sexy axes. And yeah, that Archmagos, however you want to say it, is such a nice little model. It almost seems a shame to hide him inside that I wonder if there's rules. I'll have a look in a minute. In any case, again, no breakages at all that I can see. So looks like they're nice and secure. Nice. And the tanks. As usual, 2 identical sprues. And with a bit of rotational symmetry as well, because I'm holding one upside down to the other. And yet they're pretty much the same. So I assume that means each half is a whole tank. Nice if you need to share it with friends, or if you don't need all 4. Just cut down the middle, share it between you. Nice. Solid. I'm very much looking forward to building up those and building all kinds of grubbly, gnarly Mechanicum creations. The army cards. Now, my litmus test for a successful army card is, do they all come out curved and warped straight out of the packet? Because the last lot did, which was disappointing. I'm hoping this lot won't. Not all of them did. The original ones were good. It's just that last set where they all came very, very warped out of the package. This set includes 32 army cards, which is a fair amount, probably because it's a brand new army. Again, 2 brand new armies potentially, if the Dark Mechanicum is indeed its own separate beast. And that's much nicer. Not a single curve in that. Yeah, that's better. Maybe it's just a problem with the printing previously. On the downside, it's not quite aligned. I don't know if you can see that there's more of a margin on this side and at the bottom than there is on the top, so it looks like the whole thing shifted a little bit, but it's all legible, it's all readable. That seems to be the case with all of the formation cards, not on the back. So the front side of the formation cards are all just a little bit unaligned. Not the end of the world, you can still see all the info, but if you care very much about things being dead center, yeah, you might have to lump that one. So, Dark Mechanicum formations, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Dark Mechanicum formations, and they all have Titans or Knights involved, which is nice. And heavy armor and light armor, which we don't have yet, so I assume they're going to be the big spider vehicles. Now, I read somewhere that the Dark Mechanicum can't take pure automata, so I don't know if that's the case. I'll have to check that in the book later. Nice. So there's the Dark Mechanicums, 4 Dark Mechanicum formations for the regular Mechanicum taghmata, which can also be taken as traitor. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 again. So they seem to be as big as each other, which is nice. Again, with the option to take Titans, Acastus Knights, Titans and Knights, Titans, Knights in their own formations, so you can take lots and lots of them with the Mechanicum, which is very nice. Cool. So, 4 formations each there. The Cerberus Overlord Heavy Stalker Manable. I assume since it says Heavy Stalker, that means these are going to be the heavy vehicles. Yeah, there we go. Super heavy vehicles. There you go. Mechanicum got super heavy vehicles before the Astartes did. How's that for balance? Regular vehicle from the other walkers. Swarmers, they count as infantry. Another vehicle. Interesting. So the butcher, those will be two separate kits then, presumably. Cyclops, just a normal vehicle. God, we must have loads of kits coming. I'm not complaining, but still. Trioros, they come in the box. The Cryos tanks, they're still to come, but we've seen them in pictures, but we're getting both versions, which is nice. Arachnos assault tank, we've seen those as well. Thanatars, we have those. Voltarax, we have those. Thorax, we have those. Ursarax, we have those. Arlatax, yes, we have the Arlatax, don't we? Sure we do. I'll have to check. The Domitar, Castellax, Myrmidon. Oh yes, you can take the Archmagus on his own, which is nice. Or you can take him on an Abeyant. The difference is he has an extra melter gun, an extra point of calf, and an extra inch of movement if he goes on the Abeyant. Hard to see where the meta leads in terms of those. Tech Thralls, Thalax, Priest Auxilia. Oh, two lots of Priest Auxilia. Interesting why they'd give us two of those. Maybe they're expecting us to use a lot of them. In any case, good set of cards, probably the best so far in terms of not having any bend and in terms of the sheer number. Downside, as I said, those slightly off-center formation ones, but generally speaking, very solid. I'm going to enjoy reading all of those in the context of this very big book. I think this is the nicest book so far in terms of the art. I am a sucker for chaotic art, and that is quite chaotic. Contained within this book, you will find a comprehensive history of the opening battles of the Schism of Mars, focusing, with two S's, that's a style choice, on the doom of Magma City, which set the stage for Mars' role across the years of the Horus Heresy. Exciting. The main thing, I'm not going to spend a million years reading this book. One, because I don't know if I'm allowed to copyright-wise, but also because the only thing I really want to see right now is whether or not Dark Mechanicum and the traitor-aligned regular Mechanicum can play nice together and ally and be all fun. Because it might just be worth taking mostly Dark Mechanicum as your main force, but then allying in all the automata if you can't take the automata, as the rumours have been suggesting. Assuming the automata are any good and you actually want to take them. So, the rise of the Dark Mechanicum. Nice new book creak. Maybe I should become an ASMR page and just open books slowly and whisper to you. The Crimson Sands on the Red Planet and Carta Galactica. As once the seers of ancient Terra looked to the planets of the Sol system to predict their fates, we too must appraise rusted Mars and ponder what its role will be in the war to come. I don't know why I decided Erebus would be American, but I suppose it makes sense. Oh no, I don't know. Anyway, Crimson Sands, the red planet. How many different ways can you say Mars without saying Mars? Crimson Sands, red planet, Forge World Primus. The enmity of Mars. Enmity is a good word. We don't use the word enmity. Lots of lovely, lovely lore stuff, which I will read at my leisure. Again, I don't know how much of this I'm supposed to show you in terms of copyright, although I'm fairly certain anyone who's watching this is just going to be buying their own at some point anyway. The Tenebrax, the Erax, so we've got ranged and close combat. I hope they come in the same kit so that I can use all these various bits, tubes and wires, for various kit bashes. The Taghmata. There's the Cryos, which again we know is coming. Campaigns, there's a new campaign format by all accounts, a Warfront campaign, escalation campaigns. I hope they still have hex maps because I like hex maps. River crossing, I like rivers. There's not enough rivers in this game. They have rules, we should be using more rivers. Assault the city, flashpoints, grand clashes, formations of legend. Now, they don't come in the cards, so let's see if there's anything interesting. The Demi-Maniple Eterna. That's a lot of points. That's an entire army. That's more than 2,000 points if you take the whole expanded. But it is very big. Lots of knights, reavers, and warhounds. These are all very... Basically, take a formation of legend and this is your army. I assume... I know they're not intended for... kind of competitive play, but if you're a certain... You need at least one detachment, one formation per 1,000 points. And some of these take you up to 2,000 points. So does that counter... If you take this, for example, as your army, does that mean you need to squeeze 2 very, very tiny formations into your remaining 400 points? I don't think I'll ever use these. They're very fun and fluffy, and I'm glad they're there, but I don't think they're usable. So the rules. So you've got specific symbols for all the different titans now, which is nice. Let's bring this down so you can see. Myriad. We don't use the word myriad enough either. So this is the Collegia Titanica army list, which wasn't included in the cards. So presumably they're not expecting most people to play this. And I can understand why, because these are very, very silly. So you've got the light maniple, 2 warhounds, 2 direwolves, and a knight. That's very silly. But that does mean, I think in a regular Titan detachment, you can take 3 warhounds. So that means you can get all 5 of the light maniple, plus 2 direwolves, plus a knight. That's very silly. Yes, that's incredibly silly. I like it. It's very, very silly. Good luck, anyone bringing those. Knights as well. Yeah, they're similar amounts of silliness. Compulsory armatures. Open those wallets, everyone, because they're currently still in resin. So the taghmata special rules. The cortex controller. Okay, so some of the automata can only do certain things, so can only take some orders, but they can do different orders if they've got a controller nearby, which makes sense. That's quite fluffy for Tyranids. This might be a better proxy list if you want to use epic Tyranids. Oh, I might need to update that video. Nid bashing. Yeah, let's do some nid bashing. Right. Nice. I've seen these because they're in the box. So there you go. There are our Cortex controllers. So 20 points extra for the extra gun and extra movement. Might be worthwhile. Oh, the Tech Priest Cortex controllers as well. That's nice. Okay, so the Artilax, for example, can only advance and charge. Domitar can only advance and march. So yeah, that makes sense. Charge and march. Ooh, can't advance. What does that mean if you forget to give them a token? Because if you forget a token, they automatically advance. Does that mean they just don't move? I mean, in real life, I've never played a game where if someone's forgotten, they don't let you just put down one. I've seen games where people say, right, everything else is just advancing because they've run out of tokens. But in real life, everyone said, yeah, that's fine, do whatever it was going to be. The Thanatar Siege Automata has first fire as one of its ones it can do regardless, so get those somewhere. First fire from turn 1. Right, the Dark Mechanicum. Let's see what this says. The following section presents the Dark Mechanicum representing the forces of a Forge World that has cast off many of the old ways in favour of exploiting the prescribed knowledge gifted to them by the War Master, focusing on new technology and war machine. It's a Dark Mechanicum formations can be allied into the Mechanicum taghmata army list. Presumably vice versa as well. I think vice versa. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. So yeah, you can take both Royalist and Traitor. So yeah, I don't see anything that stops allies the other way around. So yeah, the Primed, the Thalax. Yeah, no, they're right. There's none of the automata available, so you'll have to take allies if you want to use them all. Construct shields, so not quite as good void shields, and a networked anima. Sorry, I went quiet there because I was reading. I shouldn't really read in my head when I'm doing this thing. Oh well. So yeah, let's have a look. Swarmer counts as Vanguard. Tenebrax Archer counts as Light Armor. Butchers are... Ooh, Core. Vehicles in Core, that's fun. Heavy Armor, the Overlord. Oh, that's a nice looking army. Yes, please. That's 3,000 points. Can we all appreciate how silly that is? If anyone's played a 3,000 point game, if you want to paint not very many models and play this game, but be slightly better off than just taking Knights and Titans, that's 3,000 points. That's very, that's very fun. And here's the nice painted up ones in red and black and red. This is a great release. I'm really looking forward to this. That's my dog woofing. What's he seen? A magpie out the window. Thank you for protecting us from magpies, Fitz. Cool. And that's all of... Ooh! I think there's hazard stripes, or at least the opportunity for the hazard stripes without having to do Iron Warriors, which is fun. Nice. And that's the end of the book, and probably the end of the video. Thank you for everyone who stuck around all the way to the end, because the longer you stick around, the better it is for all the many algorithmy goodness and monetization nonsense. Oh, shush, Fitzy, I'll protect you from the magpie in just a minute. He's a little bit on edge because of it being fireworks weekend and Diwali and Halloween, so there's been an awful lot of people knocking on the door and fireworks going off, so it's just a little bit nervous at the moment, but you know, it's only 1 or 2 weekends a year, which is probably okay, so everyone else can have a bit of fun, and we'll just give him an extra bit of fuss in the meantime. I realise there's a tax that whenever people like streamers and influencers and stuff mention their pets that they have to show them, so I'll make sure in post-production I put a big picture of him sleeping here in his favourite sleeping pose because he's an idiot. Other than that though, thank you very much for watching and listening and liking, subscribing, commenting, all the fancy stuff I know you're all very good at doing to keep pushing this crazy project forward. Got another Lit Bash coming up over the next couple of days, and then I'll be going into full Mechanicum mode, seeing what I can build out of all this nonsense. There's several polls on my page to go through and fill out all the polls. Thank you very much to all my Patreons, as always. You're the sexiest people I know, and we've got new sexy people since the last video, so thank you to new sexy people as well. And I'm looking forward to getting my fingers, teeth, claws, various body parts into the Mechanicum and the Dark Mechanicum. And with that, I hope you will have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Peace and love, as always, and please do keep on lit bashing.